Welcome to Consistently Creative Crew. And tonight I'm going to share just a little bit about the 8x8 paper albums. And if you haven't created your own or seen any of them, these are great albums to give as gifts or to commemorate a special occasion or a trip. And they are only $10. So this is a flyer that Creative Memories has put in the back office for their advisors. So there are a number of different already pre-made paper albums, and they come in a number of different themes. And that's what you can see here under the Fur Baby album, the Sweet Summer, Our Moments, Lullaby Lane, and Everyday Paper. There are a couple more on the back of the flyer. There's Back to School, Silver and Gold, and Birthday Paper. And with these, Creative Memories has already pre-designed what the pages in these albums look like, and they're already ready to go. They're on the shelf, and they will add them right to your order. However, they also have a custom paper album, which allows you to mix and match themes, change the papers up, add digital stickers, even add your own photos, and they are the same price, but you go through and create them a little bit differently. So we wanted to share that tonight, but Cheryl has a sample of what one of these custom albums look like. So I want to go ahead and spotlight that so she can show that to you.
So this is what it comes like. This is just like a little cover page, and this was just, you name it here, and I just named it test because I was testing this out. So I used Serene Waters was the collection. Of course, now I put my camera too close to show 2 pages. But anyway, you pick your pages from whatever collection you decide you want. And then I just picked these different embellishments. And you can also go into other collections because this, I think, was from Sweet Summer or Summertime. Different collections. These 2 were also different. But I was trying to make something that my customers could just take and is a ready-made album. And I noticed that the company just came out with one today. So anyway, this was a nice little, it says, a summer I'll always remember with people I'll never forget. So anyway, I thought that was really sweet. So I just tried to leave this very open so anybody can add their own photos on there. So that is what that looks like.
And that's a full 8x8 size paper, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen again and go back in and show you where to find these. So when you're on the home page with Creative Memories, and they've recently made some changes to the website, there used to be a tab across the top that had digital. And so when you went to that, you could actually go and create any of the digital custom products that they have. But now you have to go under shop and you hover over that, and then an option of digital comes up over here on the right. So when you go into that, you'll have lots of options. You have the custom foiled spines, you have digital kits that you can download, you have the 8x8 custom paper albums, which are here. The order here on this page is a little bit hard to follow, so you might just have to scroll down if it ends up not being in the same location, but it'll be here. The custom album covers are created here. There's also custom refill pages, and there will be more digital art kits as you scroll down. So I'm going to go right to these 8x8 custom paper albums. There is another way to get here, so I'll show you that later on. So when you come here, they ask you to acknowledge that you have permission or you own all of the photos and any other material that you might upload to Creative Memories to use in your custom product. This is to try to ensure that there's no copyright infringement that's going on. So if you click on customize and haven't clicked that box, it will not let you move forward. So you have to click the box and click customize. And I'm going to just type a name here, so continue, and then it will create my product and it will initiate whatever one that I want. So you can select a theme. You can start out with a theme, and as you can see, there's a number of themes here that are already designed and pre-started for you, so you can do that, or you can start from a blank set of pages and populate them that way. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start with a blank one just so you can see everything you can do. I'm going to go into my past uploads. So if you happen to want to bring in some photos of yours, I've brought in some from a previous thing. I'm going to use a couple of those right now, just so I can show you. I'm going to just select a number of them. Yep. Okay. Oh, it didn't bring them in. I'm going to do that again. Go through photos, past uploads. I'm going to do these over here. And now I have access to all those photos that I had brought in on that previous date. So when you're working on your layout, you have a couple of ways of viewing. If you go around the bottom, you can see that there's the front cover, then there's the inside pages. And right inside the front cover, the left side page is blank. That's not a page that we can actually do. So it's kind of like the inside cover of a book. Then they start on the right page with page number 1, 2, 3, etc. And then there's one for the back cover. And inside the back cover is another page that's blank, which again is like the inside cover of a hardcover book. So those 2 pages, we don't have the option to put anything on. So right now I've got a front cover here and I can put whatever I want. So there's lots of options. I'm going to kind of skip over text and layout for a moment and go down to background. And I am going to select something here. I'm going to go ahead and select something from this bright gradient, and I'm going to start out with that one. So once I click on it, I actually have that show up on my page. If I decide that that's not really what I want, I can click on something else and I can change it to that. So that's one thing that we can do. I'm also going to show you on the layout section, if you wanted to have something that was a little bit, and you wanted to get a photo in here, this is the gray is the photo. The other lighter gray is your text. So if I scroll through these, you can see it's kind of putting a text box on my page as well as a photo, and it's over the background that I already selected. So if I'm looking at all of these and I'm looking at the layout that actually matches what I've got here the best, I would say it's this one. So hopefully, ladies, any of you who are here tonight, does that make sense what I was saying? Okay, yep. Very good. So then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab one of my photos. I'm going to go ahead and put this here, and I'm going to use that as my cover. I can stay at park. And it fills in my text box at the bottom. You can have options when you click on the text box. You can always change the font, you can change the size. Those are lots of options that you can play around with. But that's all I'm going to do for right now, because I just wanted to try to show a few of the basics. So going inside, I'm not going to do the page 1 because that's similar to doing the front, but I want to do a 2-page layout so you can see just a couple of things here. If I go to the background again, if I pick something for each side, I'm going to go to this one and pick that one. You can see now that I have a left and a right facing page that kind of match each other. I'm going to go ahead, and this time I'm just going to grab a photo that I like, and I'm going to drag it onto the page. And with this photo, I have options of zooming in. So I can zoom in, I can pan it. So zooming in with the slider bar, I could pan it over from right or to left. So there's lots of options that you can use with your photo. And let's say you decided, you know what, I really would like this to be the entire page. I can click on this button that says background, and it will make it the entire page, right? Just like that. If I decide, oh, you know what, I don't want to do that, I can just go ahead and minimize it. So there's a lot of options in these buttons, and probably the thing that you have to do is to just play around with them and see what you like, what you don't like. If you want to cross it across the 2 pages, you could do that. So again, lots of options to play with. You could make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can zoom. So that's something about photos. If I wanted to have, let's click on this. If I wanted like a frame around my photo or a mat around it, I could, by clicking on the photo and then going to these borders, I can have thicker or thinner borders, and it will automatically put one right behind my photo, which is kind of nice. So when we're paper cutting, sometimes getting the right size mat is a little bit challenging. So that could be an example here. Let's say I want some stickers or some other words that kind of go in with this. I'm going to go into Painted Garden, and I'm just going to drag and drop a few things over here so you can see. I can drag and drop them over. I can resize them. I can rotate them. I can do pretty much anything that I want. I'm going to put this in. So some examples of things that you can do and add them to your page with the stickers, and you can use photos. But again, you don't have to actually put any photos in this album. You can just leave it blank like Cheryl was showing. I'm going to go ahead and go over to this next page. If I want to go with a couple of layouts that they have, let's say I'm going to just kind of put this on here just as a holding block. There's lots of different samples of how I could put 2 photos on this page. Let's pick this one. So as I'm going through and I'm thinking this might be what I want for this page, but I don't really know yet, I kind of have this as just a placeholder for 2 photos. And then I can move on to my next page. And as I'm ready to come back later on and put my photos in, I kind of know what I was thinking as I was going through that. So again, lots of options. You kind of have to play around with them. I'm going to show a couple buttons up here at the top. We have Save, Help, and Preview. And Save is great when you're middle of your work and you need to pause for a little while. A preview changes how you're actually viewing it and not editing it at the time. So if you just want to flip through and see what it would really look like from start to finish, you can go to preview, but in edit mode is where you actually can go through and edit your items. I think there was one other thing I wanted to show in background. So you can just put a plain color on one of these pages, and you can see as I went into background and looked at plain color, there's lots of colors here. I'm going to try to pick a blue because I have a ton of different blues here, and I can click that and can make them maybe the same or different on different pages. So I could do that with just a single color. They also have 2-tone backgrounds, which is kind of interesting. So if you have maybe, let's do this stripe. I'm going to go ahead and you can see I've picked these horizontal stripes, and up at the top, they have a color bucket with the light gray. So now if I pick a different color to change those light grays to, it will change it to those. If I pick the bottom color bucket and pick it to another one, I've got another set of colors. So there's not a limitless number here, but there's quite a few. They've got different types of patterns that you can do, and you can make your own things. They've got some nice plaids, and these are all 2-tone color backgrounds, and you can make them whatever colors you might like.
Great idea for sports teams or graduation, college colors, or dance team.
So lots of great ideas, and they've made it very easy for you to go ahead and select what you want, put the 2 different colors in here. I'm going to try this with maybe a darker gray. Let's see. So totally changes what the page looks like. And again, you can customize it for whatever you want. So that was just really a quick survey and an intro into how to do this. If you then want to add it to your cart at the top, you'd press this, add to cart. I'm going to save it, but then I'm going to get out. I'm going to go back to my home page because I want to be sure to show you how to find that project again. Again, since they've moved things around on the website, it gets hard sometimes to find where things are because maybe you knew where they were, but they're not there anymore. So to find our projects, they're not as easy to find down here on that top bar. So I go into my account. And once I'm in my account, I go into my custom products. And you can see I've got a couple here. I had this CCC test that I did tonight. I want to show you two things that I did in this one. So I did a little bit different previously where I had the cover being the full-size photo. And here I just added some pictures a little bit differently. And here I added a text box with one of my photos. So there's endless options of how you can customize it. You can make it quick and simple by just having the paper on there and just even a few stickers or no stickers, or you can actually put a bunch of photos on it. And at the price point of $10, it's a great gift, a great thing to do for kids' albums. And there are my dogs barking. So I am going to stop sharing. And I think Cheryl has something else to show. So I'm going to go ahead and stop like
I
that.
actually have this is an 8x8 album that was a custom album done for Crop and Connect Maine. And I turned it into something that was usable for me because I did not go to Crop and Connect Maine, but you can see all the little scrapbooking icons that are here and the little patterns that were in this little book and how you kind of can maneuver the pages in such a way that you can fit, 2 or 3 or more photos on a page. So here, these 2 photos were printed smaller. So those were able to fit on there. And then there was one that I actually cut. You can cut them in half. I didn't really think about it, but I had this extra photo and I'm like, well, you can cut it in half. So there's 5 photos on these 2 pages.
And did you just slide on standard 8x8 page protectors onto
this? Yeah, this has got page protectors on it because I bring this around with me to show people my scrapbooking B&B that I have. So I wanted to be able to protect it. And yes, the other thing that you can do with these is if you decide you actually want to put them in an album, you can take this book and cut it right down the center when you're done, and then you can put these pages into top loading, or actually they're side loading sleeves in the 8x8. But if you decided that you actually really liked working in the 8x8 and you wanted to make it into a whole album, you can put it into an 8x8 regular album by cutting these apart and slipping them in.
Nice.
So
I guess when you're done with the display, you can actually just put that into an album and that's already there. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I liked some of the things that you showed because I didn't know about creating basically your own paper is what you were doing there at the end. I didn't even find that when I made my little one. There's so many options in there that I didn't even notice that was one. So
there are a lot of options and they're all $10. So it really doesn't matter how much you customize or don't customize. And really the $10 price point for this size album is a great deal. So I hope that shows you a few things you can do with this, and we'll get this recording posted out on our YouTube channel and Facebook. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kari.
Thank you, Kari.